and welcome to another beautiful episode of Kulz English Language Class. It's been a while and I am so happy to come up on the channel once again. Okay, you're all welcome. So we are still on the learning to read episode. On episode 2, we are going to be learning about starting to read. The last episode we talked about mastering the basics, and the majors we talked about was to begin with the alphabet and the sounds, to distinguish vowels from consonants, to use phonics, to recognize punctuation marks. Okay, and then now when you've learned this, then you start to read. You can start as small as 2-letter words, 3-letter words, 4-letter words, then you progress. You get, and from then you start learning numbers in English language. You start learning singular, plural, or past and present, the tenses basically. And once you're done with all of these basics, you then start to read by choosing meaningful materials. You start by picking really shorter books, like books with smaller numbers, smaller pages, easier words. You get, and you always try to read with your dictionary at hand. Okay, so we now have dictionaries on our phones, so probably around your like hard copy book dictionary. You could just use the dictionary on your phone, okay, to make sure you grasp every meaning of the book. Okay, and then there are different ways to read, but I wouldn't really go through into that. Okay, you read for several purposes. We could read for fun, we could read for relaxation, we could read to learn to read better, we could read to just for reading sake, just like a presenter. Okay, we could read for scamming or skimming purpose. We could read to just want to read aloud and read to people. We could read for practice purpose, like learning to read faster, learning to read louder, learning to read like to try to correct your phonetics and all of that. Okay, so we're starting to read by choosing meaningful reading materials that suit that particular purpose. Okay, so on to the second point is to learn to read aloud. Okay, read aloud. This will help you to read better. It is when you've gotten to a professional level, then you could like read it without sounding it out. You could read it without reading aloud. You could read it without even moving your lips. You get, well, since you're learning to read and she's learning to read aloud, read out. Let us hear what you're reading. If you make mistakes, make sure people around are open to correct you, and do not really take it to heart when people correct you, regardless of how they do, because some people may seem really sassy, some people may seem really rude, some people may seem like unkind, and when correcting you, just take it to heart. You want to know what you're trying to gain. Do you get? So read aloud. Sometimes sit kids down and read to them. Sometimes sit your siblings down and read to them. Sometimes if people sit your parent down and read something they are interested in to them. It could be news, it could be the current happening in your area, it could be it could be the papers, it could be journals, it could be magazines, anything at all. Just read, make sure to read aloud. And then finally, make time to read. This kind of reading, you do not necessarily need to read aloud. This kind of reading, you start practicing to read and then to digest it within yourself. Okay, so you learn to memorize as well, you learn to meditate on what you've read as well. And then I hope this second point has really been of great help to you. So the new word aloud for today is stress relaxing. What does this mean? This means that you were so stressed to the extent that even relaxing make you much more stressed because you were not working on what is actually getting you stressed. So stick with me same time next time on Kulz Free English Language Class, as we're going to be treating the third episode on learning to read, which is actually learning reading strategies. Okay, do not forget to like the channel, do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to share the link that I'm going to be sharing afterwards down below. Same time next time on Kulz Free English Language Class. Bye, catch you later.